Hi guys, it's Chelsea. I just wanted to come back again and thank you for being so patient with us. I know it took us forever to get that last video up, um, but we did miss a lot in that update. I apologize, but we did want to just get something, up so you weren't waiting any longer. 2 months was long enough, I know. So I just wanted to get back on real quick and give you a real labor and delivery update, because as soon as we stopped recording the other video, we realized how much we missed, how much we forgot to tell you. So let's try this again. I'm going to try this real quick. As you know, she was born July 18th, 2015. She came in at 8 pounds, 7.5 ounces, and 20 inches long, so we had our 8-pounder. Thank God she wasn't much bigger than that. Overall, it was a really good experience. The whole process, surprisingly to me, ended up only taking 5.5 hours, about that. That's one of the things that I was scared of with the induction. Like, I'm thinking, like everybody else's story that I've heard that has had an induction, it took forever. Like, those were the 36-hour, delivery stories that I heard. So I was a little scared about that, to be honest with you. But it went by so quick. Like, in hindsight, it didn't feel like that at all when it was happening, but 5.5 hours, I will not complain about that. So it was overall a good experience. As you know, I went in at 4 centimeters dilated by the time that I got back to the hospital on induction day. By like 9:15, they were starting the Pitocin, and by 1:15, I was up to 5 centimeters, so they were able to break my water. Once they did that, it got real. The contractions came a lot harder, a lot closer together. It wasn't too bad until maybe like a half an hour in, and I could not take it anymore. I was in tears. I was a little disappointed in myself, to be honest with you, that I would have to take the meds. I really wanted to go natural, but hey, what are you gonna do? I know my limits, and I was at my limits, so I'm not going to feel bad about it now because she's here, and I don't care how she got here as long as she was here. But it did take the anesthesiologist 3 times to get it right. That was honestly the worst part of the whole process, I'd have to say. Not to scare anybody out there that has to get the meds, but this guy just it wasn't the best experience for me, unfortunately, because like in the last video I told you, like, the side effects were horrendous for me, and yeah, it just didn't. I don't really feel that it worked for me, at least not during the parts that I wanted it to, because it took a while to kick in, so I really only didn't have use of or have feeling, down there from the waist down until it was time to push. So I felt like I still went through the hard part without the meds. But it worked out the way it was supposed to, so I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to rehash how unhappy I was about that. But she was here within 20 minutes. After pushing, she was here at 2:46 was her birth time. She was crying as soon as her head came out. She didn't even want to wait for the rest of her body. She just wanted to let everybody know, I'm here. We thought that was so cute. After that, I didn't have a episiotomy per se. Like, my doctor did not have to cut me. However, I did get ribs. So they did have to stitch me up, and that took quite some time. And that, I could say, I'm thankful for the epidural at that time, because that is when it kicked in while they were stitching everything up. So I didn't feel a thing when it came to that. But the delayed side effects, like I said, those were killer. It was very scary for me to, sit up and lose feeling, completely lose feeling in half of my body, whether it be my arm or my legs. Like, it was, I didn't like that feeling at all. And it made me scared to hold the baby and not be laying down, because I didn't want to lose feeling while I had her, you know what I mean, and God forbid drop her, which didn't happen, which is good. So I guess there wasn't really anything to complain about that, but it was still scary for that to happen, and it also gave me headaches and everything afterwards too. So that wasn't fun, but again, I won't complain about it because it brought her here, and that's the important thing. Um, they did, as soon as I gave birth to her, they did put her on my chest, so we had instant skin to skin, which was beautiful. I loved it. We were just looking at her in awe and couldn't believe that she was actually there. Um, and we were able to meet, finally able to meet her. It was such a beautiful moment. I wish we could have got something recorded, but there was no way, no way during that time I was going to have a camera in my face. But it was great. They took her away or Crystal cut the cord, so that was awesome. She enjoyed that, and they only took her away to do like her measurements and everything, and get her little feet stamped on the little cardboard page that they give you. But then she came back and she latched instantly, thank God. So that was a fun bonding moment as well. I did miss that. I did miss breastfeeding and nursing my babies. But she did latch on, and that went, through great. She was feeding well enough where she was, producing the good diapers, because that's how they gauge it. How many wet diapers or poopy diapers that they have, that's how they gauge how much she's getting. So she's getting enough if she's able to have bowel movements and have enough wet diapers. So thankfully that did work out. They had a lactation specialist walking around, so we were able to consult with her quite a few times, which was very informational and very, it was good to have. I was grateful for that because I did have a few questions for her, and I did end up having soreness while I was in the hospital, which is good because she was able to give me tips and everything. One of the things that she put me on to, which is a godsend, because I did have soreness, my nipples did start to crack a little bit, and she gave me a nipple guard, which made it a lot easier for me to nurse because it wouldn't hurt while she was nursing with the guard on. Again, heaven sent. They didn't have that when I had my other babies. I wish they did because I probably would have breastfed longer. But the guards are awesome if you're in need of that. And there's also, I forgot what it was called, but they're gel circles, pads that go on top of the nipple in between the bare breast and your nursing pads, if you use that as well to avoid the leakage. Because instead of having, I did still have cracked nipples when I did return to the home, and it hurt like hell. Only when, especially when you rip the bra away to feed the baby again. The pad felt like it was a Band-Aid. That's what it reminded me of, like just ripping a Band-Aid off of your skin real fast, really quickly. It hurt so bad. But those gel circles protected it, so then it wasn't that ripping effect, and it made it easier for it to heal. And then with the guards, in addition to that, it was a great pairing of products because my nipples were able to heal faster and I was able to nurse without pain. It was awesome. Again, they didn't have that before, and I was glad that someone invented that now. What else? The baby, while she was in the hospital, she hardly cried at all, just to be fed, really, and she was sleeping most of the time. But one thing that was scary, by day 2, they said because she came out so quickly, because they broke my water, and then within, a short period of time, I was pushing her out, so she didn't have a lot of time to really be sitting there with the liquid leaked out already. So on her way out, I guess the way that they explained it to me, she inhaled some of that liquid and she developed phlegm. So she was coughing up phlegm. So in the middle of the night, to hear your baby choking, that was the scariest thing ever. Like, we didn't want to sleep. Any movement, any sound that she made, we were both like, what's she doing? What's she doing? Is she still good? Is she saying, So that was scary at first, but we would just keep using that squeezy thing and getting the phlegm out of her mouth and out of her nose as needed. So it wasn't too bad once that got under control. Let me see what else. by day 2, she was also lifting up her head already. This girl is all about the business. Like, she needs to be up and see what everybody's doing, what everybody's talking about. It's since day 2. It was amazing to see that, because she's developing very quickly. And we'll do another update that shows where she's at now, because she's, as of the 18th, she's turned 2 months. My baby is growing so fast. So yeah, overall it was a really good experience. Our labor and delivery, I couldn't have asked for anything, better for the most part, except for the epidural. Everything was smooth. Everything went according to our birth plan, which was awesome, because that never happens. And what else? And the only thing that we were going to do a video that had what we had in our hospital bag. But to be honest with you, we hardly used anything in that bag, and we both overpacked. I had like a medium-sized Victoria's Secret beach bag that I used for my stuff and the baby stuff, and Crystal had a whole duffel bag to herself, and we honestly only went in the bag to get our phone charger, and Crystal had a change of clothes, and I used a robe that came from the bag. Everything else was provided by the hospital, so we really didn't need to pack anything, to be honest with you, just those few things. So, piece of advice, don't overload, because you're hardly ever going to use it. You're not going to be reading, like the list that they give you online and what you would find, online, you're not going to use half of that stuff. You're not going to want to do anything but be with the baby and sleep. So, pack light, guys. Just the essentials. But yeah, other than that was it. It was just a beautiful experience for us. I'm glad that I was able to share it with my wife, Crystal. We have gotten so much closer with this experience, the whole pregnancy experience, the trying to conceive, everything. Like, guys that are doing it, do not give up. You will have your moment. It's going to happen for you. It's just a matter of when. Because I would not believe a year ago that I would be sitting here already having our baby here. Like, it's amazing to me, all the struggles and everything that we have to go through just to conceive and to have our children. We appreciate it even much more, because it takes such a process, and it's so much harder for us to get pregnant, especially being a lesbian couple. But I wouldn't have believed this a year ago, that I would be sitting here today with our baby. So, like I said, don't ever give up. It will happen for you. It's just a matter of the right timing. But I hope you enjoyed this video. We have a few upcoming videos on the way. We have a fun tag that we're going to do. Or actually, we already did do, so I'll make sure to upload that shortly. And I know I have to do the nursery tour video. I've been getting messages about that. It will be up shortly. I promise. I just have a few things that I wanted to finish, but for the most part, it's done. Alright, so we will see you soon. Next time I'll have Crystal back with me. Alright, have a good day, guys. Bye.